one thing I'll hear from people who would like to write but haven't actually started writing anything is that they feel they need to read more books first. They feel they need to understand the craft of storytelling, and they need to read all sorts of great literature before they actually sit down and try to write a story for themselves. I think that's a really bad way to go about it. I think that you definitely want to read as much as possible, but don't let that prohibit you from actually writing. You're never going to read all of the great books that you want to read anyway. So, kind of waiting around to write before you've read everything is really just an excuse not to write. So, definitely try to read as much as possible, but don't let that stop you from writing. Sit down and start writing now, and then when you have free time, read whatever you can and learn from those books and use them to help your own writing improve. The other thing I'll hear is people say, I need to have more life experience. I need to do more before I start writing. And I'll ask them why. And they'll say, well, I always hear that you're supposed to write what you know. And I just haven't really done enough. I don't know enough to actually write a compelling story. And my response to that is that writing what you know does not correspond necessarily to writing about where you've been in the world or what you've done. Writing what you know can simply mean writing about a feeling that you know. Let's say that you have experienced loneliness in your life, and that is all you need to write a story. So you know about loneliness, and you're going to then write a story about loneliness, and then from there you can go really anywhere you want. You can set the story in Africa, you could set it in New Zealand, you could set it in the Middle Ages in Spain. You could really do anything you want, and the central idea that you're trying to get at is something that you're really familiar with, i.e., loneliness. But from there, you can get as creative and wild as you want. Now, I should add to that, especially in this day and age, there is some controversy about writing about things and places and people that you yourself are not personally familiar with. Now, this is a really difficult topic, but I do believe that a writer should have the ability to write about whatever they choose, even if they haven't personally experienced it. All you should know, though, is that if you're going to write about a challenging topic that you haven't directly experienced or that doesn't directly relate to your life, that the stakes suddenly get much higher, and you have to be ready and willing to take the blame if you fail to properly capture the essence of the topic you've chosen to write about. You just need to do it with as much love and care and sensitivity as possible, while also not losing track of the ever so important aspect of just telling a good story and narrative craft and developing good characters. So again, you can write about whatever you want, but if the topic doesn't pertain directly to your own life, the stakes get much higher, and you have to be willing to accept criticism if you get it wrong. So that's sort of the deal, I think. I think that is really important. I would like that to become sort of the status quo, the norm for storytellers. Right now, there's definitely controversy over this topic. I would like things to be leveled out to a point where we can all sort of agree on what a storyteller has a right to do. But again, I think a storyteller ought to be able to tell whatever story they want, to imagine a life and a world that is not their own. So if there's a story that you really are dying to tell, but you're a little worried about the topic and about the issues, I'd say go for it, but know that it is going to be no simple task, and be ready to take all the blame if you do get it wrong. All right, so this video is not meant to discourage you in any way. It's meant to encourage you. These are just a few things that I've noticed prohibit some writers from actually sitting down and getting to work. So I hope if these are things that you yourself have worried about somewhat, that you feel a little more confident in actually sitting down and putting some words on a page. But that's about it. So thank you so much for watching. Please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And that's all I've got. So we will see you next time.